So that is, you know, fantastic. Archival ink. Okay, so now I'm going on to adding some texture to my background. Now every item that you add, every little thing that you add onto your canvas or your surface is going to be considered a layer. Whether it's color or paint or whatever, it's going to be considered a layer. So for this project, I'm not using a canvas. I'm using a good thick piece of chipboard, and that is what I did with my original art piece. It's on a good piece of chipboard, and the only reason why I like using chipboard is because I plan on having these canvases mounted onto a frame, and the image itself, the artwork itself, is very dimensional. As you can see, it's very dimensional, and it has a lot of wonderful things that make you want to, you know, reach out and touch it. So using chipboard allows me easier access to just mount it onto a nice frame. But there's, you know, number of bases that you can use. You can use a book cover, a picture frame. You can use all kinds of stuff and apply the same techniques that you're going to see here. You can apply those onto just about any surface. So to get started, in this particular project, I achieved all the color fading and all the color stuff with pure color sprays. That's it, just color sprays. But I'm aware that there's a lot of people out there that might not have access to color sprays. You can either buy watercolors and create your own color sprays, or you can use acrylic paints, and it also gives you a very awesome background. So today I'm going to use a mixture of acrylic paints and color sprays. And for this background, my background is going to be shades of like an orangey color with white and possibly black, but more like a pink orangey type of color. And I'm using Coral Blush from Americana. And these kinds of paints are very inexpensive. They're like $1 something at any craft store or any art store. So that's pretty awesome. And all I'm doing is just taking a little bit of paint, and I'm going to randomly add it to my background. Okay, just randomly add. Let me get some paint on the cap. And because this is chipboard, it's going to soak up the color very fast. So I'm not being perfect with the color. I'm just randomly adding it. Because like I said, the dryer sheet and the tissue paper becomes basically very translucent when you add it on with your glue. So you can see it's not perfect. My husband, what are you doing? Okay, so you can see it's not perfect. It was just randomly added. Randomly added. Okay, so at this point, I do not know which way is going to be up and which way is going to be down. All I know is that I'm going to leave the center portion. I'm not going to focus too much on the center portion of my chipboard. I'm going to focus on the sides, top, bottom, side to side. That's what I'm going to focus on when it comes to adding my color. So next I'm going to add some Lumiere paint, and this is 567 Super Sparkle, and it's like a very pearlized sparkly white. And again, just very randomly, I'm not even gonna, you know, really pay much attention to what is falling where. I'm just randomly adding the color right now. So this is my second layer because it's my second color. It's my second layer. Now I'm only going to add it to where I didn't add color with my first layer. So it's very random. At this point, I'm just making sure that every piece of my chipboard has some kind of color on it. Okay. So these are the first two layers. Okay. I'm not even going to bring out my heat gun to dry anything up just yet. Now I'm going to get my gel medium. And I'm going to start applying my tissue paper and my dryer sheets. So I'm going to put a nice amount of gel medium on the bottom here. And I'm going to do it in sections. I'm not going to try to do the whole thing all at once because this does dry relatively quick. And I want to start off with the tissue paper. You can get regular white tissue paper, crunch it up a little bit, okay, and just let it fall. Now again, I'm not going to put too much focus on the center. I don't want a lot of texture in the middle because the middle is going to be where my face is at. Okay. Here you can, I don't know if you can see, but you can start seeing some of the texture, the awesome texture. And on top of this, I'm going to go back on top of it and put some more gel medium. Okay. I'm going to try to keep the center part as smooth as I possibly can. Can you guys see that texture? Can you see the color popping through? Isn't that awesome? Look at all that texture. Okay, so I think I need another piece of tissue paper. Okay, so I got me some more tissue paper. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add, so my first layer was the coral color, my second layer was the white color, and my third layer was the tissue paper. And now I'm just going to randomly add in some spots some of that dryer sheet that I cut apart. Okay. So now I'm just going to kind of let this dry out for a little bit while I go back to my face. Okay, so the water is practically dry. And I'm going to come with a brush and I'm going to add my first coat of gloss gel to my image. This is a brush, makeup brush. Just going to add some gel to it. And I'm going to pounce it on. I'm not going to brush it on. I'm going to pounce it on. The entire face, the lips, the eyes, everything. Okay. I'm going to let that dry. Coming back to my canvas, I'm going to bring out my heat tool and I'm going to help the dry process along a little bit. Yeah, that's a blush brush. Blush brush. Okay, so now my surface is still wet. It's not 100% dry, and at this point I'm going to sprinkle on some glitter. Okay, so this is my own concoction, and what it is 5 different types of white glitter, from really coarse to really fine glitter. And also some Ranger embossing some sticky embossing powder. And the only reason why I added the sticky embossing powder is because when I heat set it, it's going to also help the glitter stick onto the surface a little bit more. And I'm just going to randomly sprinkle it onto my surface while it's still kind of wet. And the glitter is awesome because it soaks up the color nicely. Just with my finger, going to spread it, help spread it around. Hi everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We've been having technical difficulties, but nevertheless, I'm still proceeding. Shake the glitter around. Right now I'm not too worried about the excess paper, tissue paper. I'm going to rip it off or cut it off in due time. So I'm just going to come back with my heat gun and help the dry process along a little bit more. Okay, it's not 100% dry, but it's still workable. Can you guys see the sparkle? Okay, so at this point, I'm going to start with my color sprays. Just randomly again. I'm not even going to spray them. I'm going to get a brush. I'm going to come back with that makeup brush, the blush brush, and I'm going to pounce on some color. I'm picking these colors because I think Miriam has a color challenge on her blog where it's mostly white. So I'm not in my comfort zone when I'm using white because I'm more of a grungy type of girl. But I'm going to give it a go and I'm going to try out not grunging my project out too much. And this is Cocoa Bell's Coral. And you saw me, I just pounced it on with my blush brush. And these are just different shades of orange. This is Mango Mania. It's going to soften up a little bit once it gets dry. And you can see how perfect the glitter takes the color. You guys see that? Okay, so she is almost dry. Can you guys see her? Once she's dry, I'm going to get ready to cut her out. But right now I'm just going to try to decide which way is up and which way is down. I think it's going to be like this. It's going to be the bottom. This is a bit of bubbly. Okay, now before I go any further, I'm going to heat set these three colors that I've added because I don't want them to, you know, bleed into one another too much. The process is very simple. The only time-consuming aspect of this project is basically the dry time. It takes a while for the color paints and all this stuff to get dry. Smells good too because of the dryer sheets. Okay. It's not 100% dry, but I can keep working with it. I think it's a little, I want it to be like dark at the bottom and a little bit more light and soft at the top. So I'm going to soften some spots out by using Delusions ink spray. This is white linen. This is white linen. You can see I'm not focusing too much on the center because the center is going to be covered anyway, so it doesn't really matter at this point. I love using color sprays. The only thing I really don't like is when you spray it, it tends to leave a circle. Like it sprays in a circle. I'm kind of trying to blend out. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I'm very happy with the background. Let me help my girl out a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna try to give her a nice lip. And I like using washable markers for this because if I mess up, I can quickly wipe it off. And because I added my layer of multi-medium gel to it, it's going to let me do that. It's going to give me some play time. So if I mess up, I can wipe it off. Just going to give her a little fuller lip. You see that? Okay, so, oops. So her lip is basically established, and I am going to come back. I bought these watercolor brush sets at Michael's. They were $5, and I've never used them before, but I am really liking them. I'm really liking that they have a nice fine tip, and I can mix them with water, you know. So that's always a plus. Now my girl is going to have maybe greenish, bluish eyes. So I'm going to get the blue one and the green one. Now I'm going to color her eyes. And I'm not going to go and color it all perfect with one color. Can you guys see that? Just randomly color in some areas with the blue and some areas with the green. And I like leaving some white spots here and there so that it looks more realistic. Can you guys see that? Simple. Just do movements like this when you're coloring. Just lightly go like this as you're coloring it in. Okay, so I'm going to go back with my makeup brushes. And this is the brush. It has an angle to it. I think this is an eyeliner brush. And I like doing my eyelashes with this because of the angles, and it makes it very easy. Very easy. And all I do is I take a marker, because it has the protective layer of modeling of this gloss gel. Because it has a protective layer that I put on top of the color, it's gonna let me move the marker ink around a little bit. So this is just a regular Sharpie-like marker. And I'm going to start by tracing out her eye. And then I get my brush and I bring the paint, I move the paint out. I like to start very lightly and gradually work my way to making it a little bit darker. Can you guys see that? and all with this. Now, if you mess up a little bit here and there, don't worry about it. Don't panic. You can always come back with your watercolors and adjust the tone of stuff. So right now you're fine. Don't panic. Just go with the flow. Trace out her eye. Can you guys see that? Hi, Miriam. You guys see just how different her eyes look just by using a makeup brush and a pen or a marker. This is actually one of those, it's a roller tip pen. And these I purchased at the dollar store. They come in a pack of 2 or 3. Roller pen. And the flow of the ink is consistent to that of a gel pen. So that is going to allow you to carry the color out like I did on my girl here. Now you guys can see I messed up a little bit right here. Carried the color a little too much. So I'm going to fix that. I'm not going to panic. I'm going to fix it by coming in with some more of my my skin tone watercolor that I used originally. Just reconstituting it with some more water. And easily be corrected. There, problem solved. Okay. So she is practically done. All I have to do now with her is cut her out. And I would do that if I find my scissors. Cut them out. Now, I'm not too concerned about cutting the bottom portion perfect because it's going to be covered with her dress. Okay. And I didn't give her ears either. I took her ears off. Let me just cut her out really quick, guys. I'll be back in frame right now. Okay. So here's my background again. And this is my top. This is my bottom. And this is my face. So at this point we can basically begin playing and adding our embellishments. I'm not gluing her down just yet. I want to make sure I've had my embellishments and everything brought out. So I'm using some bling. Can't get a project done without bling. And I'm using these awesome leaves that Miriam carries in her shop. I've cut out a couple of them already. Now I'm going to give her a similar outfit to the original canvas. The only difference is that I'm going to paint these white. So I'm just going to cut them out real quick. And these are silk leaves and they come in a nice package. Has several of them. Okay. So the leaves are going to compose her outfit. And Miriam carries those in her shop. And I'm also going to use some of these metal filigree flowers that Miriam carries. Okay, and I think I might use some of these also for her dress. I don't want it to be too much like the original one. I want it to be a little bit different. So we're going to play around and see what I get. And I always keep a little stash of flowers. And you guys can order Wild Orchid Craft flowers from Miriam's shop. She carries, she special orders these and gets them out to you guys really fast. So I'm going to use some Wild Orchid Craft flowers. I just kind of threw in here random bits and pieces of flowers and stuff like that. So I'm going to use, I know I want to use some roses. I'm not going to use the flower stamp. I don't think I'm going to use it for the headpiece just yet. It's a lot of coloring and a lot of stuff like that. I want to use more of these, but you can, I'll show you guys how to color one, how I color mine using my gelatos, and then you guys can decide if you guys want to print out the flower and use it for this project, or you can use the flower for any other project. And you can use gelatos, you can use watercolors. I'm going to use my water-soluble crayon and just show you guys just how fast and how easy. I'm only going to put a little bit of color at the bottom of the petals. And again, I'm just kind of scribbling it in there, not too worried. I'm coming back with my brush. I'm going to add two colors. I'm going to put the pink on the bottom, and I'm going to put some yellow on the top of the petals. Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, I'm going to come in with my brush, some water, and look at how fast it goes. I don't know if Miriam can find a source that would provide us with some of these wonderful Neocolor water-soluble pastels. I would have to discuss that with her and see if she can possibly find a place to order some or something. We'll see. So this one is using the water-soluble pastels, and I'm going to do the next one using some gelatos. Same technique, just different kind of medium. And look at what a wonderful effect you get with the flowers. That's what I did. This is how I colored all of my flowers in the original canvas. All of these flowers were colored the same way. Okay, so I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to show you guys using gelatos. So I have some gelatos here. I don't know the colors, but this is like a pink peachy color, and this is a gold color. So all I'm going to do, again, just very randomly, adding some color. And again, I'm not too worried of how perfect this is at this point. Okay, I'm going to get my brush, get some water, and beautifully blend in the colors. Just like in a circular motion, moving around the colors, blending them in. And you can see just how easy that was. Two different mediums, same technique. Isn't that awesome? Okie dokie. So back to my original spot where I was. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, so let's get started here. What else am I going to use? Oh, look at what I got. I got me some awesome pearls and some wonderful, wonderful stuff that I got for Miriam's shop. She carries these awesome little crystals. Can you guys see that? And these are crystal beads. You can use them to make jewelry or whatnot, but I like using them in my mixed media projects. And she has several different ones. Here's another one. Isn't that yummy? I'm going to be using some of those, and these are my favorite, the big ones. Isn't that awesome? Look at how big that is. Cool, huh? Miriam carries these in her shop, and she carries flat back pearls. And I'm going to use this yumminess here. She packaged these crystals and pearls up awesomely. I was so at awe when I got it because it just looks so organized and so beautiful. I don't know how long it's going to stay like this, but for right now it's just so beautiful. And I have my clear whites, you know, creams, pinks, and black. And this is the color scheme that I'm going to add to my surface here. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to apply them to this project just yet, but I'm going to try to work them in there. And she carries a lot of stuff in her shop. Her shop is my all-time favorite one-stop shop. You can buy all kinds of goodies. She carries beads, she carries canvases and paints and, you know, name brand papers, all kinds of goodies. Her store is awesome. I love it. She allows you to buy metal filigrees by the piece and not by the pack, which is awesome. Not very many shops out there offer you all those wonderful little things that Miriam's offers you guys in her shop. So these are just some random flowers I had in my stash. Now, if you don't have coordinating flowers, don't worry, don't panic. You can always color them up by using gesso or paint. And I'm going to show you guys how to do that on these leaves because they stand out a little bit too much. And I don't want the emphasis to be on the leaves. I want it to be on her headpiece. Okay. All right, so let's see. I got these at another awesome shop on Etsy, on Deb's shop, Gone Artsy. She has a lot of beautiful laces and blingy parts and stuff like that. And this is one piece of a rosette that I think I'm going to be using on her head. Not sure just how yet. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to be using my hot glue gun, but generally I don't use my hot glue gun to glue my embellishments down to my my page, my canvas. I normally use E6000, which again Miriam carries in her shop. So she's going to be a little shabby chic-ish, and I like giving them a nice crown-like effect. I could have sworn I threw in more. metal filigree pieces in here. Yes, I did. And she has tons and tons of different filigree shapes. She has metal leaves, flowers, doodads and stuff like that. She has charms, beads, you name it. So this is basically playtime, just trying to decide how her headpiece is going to come together. She has a lot of fun ones. You know, she has different kinds, different sizes, different finishes, silver ones, gold ones, bronze, you name it. Okay, so I think I like this one. I like this one for the neck piece. And then I'll probably give her a nice blue. She also carries them in a white finish. She has white flowers. She has corners, all kinds of stuff. Okay, I like that one for the focal point. And then you just start arranging your flowers, stacking them up layer over layer. I took this rosette trim apart because I used it for another project that you guys are going to see shortly. I used the sequin sleeves. So I had to cut the flower apart. Just trying to figure out how I'm gonna tie it together before I commit and glue something down. Aren't these cute? Cute little flowers. I want to add some roses. It's just building it up layer over layer. I think I like the way that is looking. Okay, I kind of got the gist of it, the idea of how it's gonna more or less be looking like, so I can take everything out and start gluing stuff down. Okay, so how I adhere her face down to the canvas is, again, with my gloss gel medium. Okay. Again, I'm going to pounce it on. You want to be very careful as you're adding your face to your canvas, because again, these are Lindy Stamp Gang color sprays and they are water soluble. So if you get glue on your brush and you go over one of the areas where you color sprayed, the glue is going to pick up the color and you're going to transfer that onto your image. So you have to be very careful on how you add your image to your canvas or your surface. You want to make sure that all the edges are nicely glued on to your surface. Make sure you wipe off after every brush stroke or whatnot so that you don't contaminate the colors. So at this point, I'm going to add one protective layer of gel medium to the entire surface except the face. Just the surface around the face. Now I'm going to pounce it on. I'm not going to brush it, because if I brush it, it's going to move the color around. But if I pounce it on like this, it more or less leaves the color unmoved. So remember to wipe off after every section, okay? And I like to do it in sections. So again, I'm just pouncing it on, and this is going to protect the color spray layers that you added. Make sure I wipe off my brush. Wipe off. Especially right here in the areas where it's really dark, I want to make sure I don't move a lot of that color around. Wipe it off. Okay, so now my entire surface has one protective layer of gel medium, so it's going to protect whatever color sprays I sprayed on here, so that when I add my last layer of color, it won't contaminate it. Okay, so I will be right back. Somebody just walked in the door. Okay. The background is composed of, to begin with, I started with one layer of this acrylic paint. And this is a coral blush. Randomly painted the chipboard piece. And then I randomly applied some of this Lumiere Pure Sparkle White color, again randomly. And on top of that, I added tissue paper that I got and crumbled up like this. And you see it has all those wrinkles and everything. That's what I used to create the background. So I layered like this and pounced it on. I didn't brush it on, and when you pounce it, it grabs the shape of the wrinkles and all of that. And then on top of that, I glued that tissue paper with my gel gloss medium, and then randomly I added some dryer sheets. I ripped up a dryer sheet and I randomly added the dryer sheet. Now the dryer sheet and the tissue paper become sort of translucent and grab whatever color is on the bottom, helps it pop out. So it where you see like the lighter shades of coral, that's where the first original layer was. So on top of the tissue paper and on top of the use dryer sheet, I started spraying some colors, some Lindy color sprays, and I use this color, which is Cocobell Coral, and I also use Mango Mania, and a bit of Bubbles, and Delusions ink spray in white linen is what I use to create more of the colors in the background. So what you see here hanging from the edges is the tissue paper, which I'll take care of and cut off once I'm done. Right now I'm not too worried about it. And the face was colored with Neocolor water-soluble pastels and Koi watercolors. Koi watercolors. They come in these tubes. They're very highly pigmented. There's several different brands, and a little bit goes a long way. So that's what I use in like a skin tone color to color her face. So now that she is adhered on here, I'm going to come with my modeling paste, and it seems like I didn't bring my tool. My craft knife. So I'm going to use my modeling paste, and all I'm going to use is like a credit card or something to smear it on. If I could find my scissors, that would be amazing. So let me get a credit card so that I can spread my modeling paste. It's not even a card, it's just a piece of paper, cardboard paper. So I'm going to add some modeling paste, and I'm going to more or less add it to the bottom portion, like this. That's going to help blend in some of the seams. And if you don't have leaves, or you don't want to make the bottom, her attire too fancy, you can create great texture by using modeling paste, and then just add paint over it. As so. And I'm going to smudge it on here and there. And this is going to create more texture. Okay, so before the modeling paste dries, I'm going to start gluing down some of my leaves. So modeling paste can also be used as an adhesive. Okay, so the way I achieved the look of her dress was with these beautiful leaves that Miriam carries in her shop. They're silk leaves. And I just started randomly layering them one on top of another like so. I'm using the modeling paste as an adhesive here. Need some more bigger ones. Need a lot of the bigger ones. I don't need the smaller ones. I have enough of those cut out. Making sure I smush them into the modeling paste. My hands are so dirty. Just trying to work quickly so that I can finish this in time. I'm not going to go all the way up because I am going to give her some metal embellishments. Trying to use up all the little ones that I've cut out. See, the modeling paste helps as an adhesive. I think that's about it for the leaves. Okay. Now, my leaves I'm going to paint with some of that acrylic paint. I've never really used clear gesso, so I'm not sure which would be better. You will be able to see the video again. After every, if it stops, it automatically saves my videos. So I just have to put my videos together and turn them into one long video. But you will be able to see this again from the beginning to the end. So again, we're using the Lumiere paint, and I'm going to color my leaves. Because Miriam's theme is white, winter white. So it can either look like it's snowing and she's covered in it. But these leaves take very well to paint, let me tell you. Oh, I love the way that looks, and it sparkles. Wow. So right here, I'm just kind of toning down the leaves because they're a little bit too green. And I can use gesso on this, but I really like the sparkle that the acrylic paint has. I like that. Okay. And I think I want to use some of those. I think I want to use this one. Or should I use this one here? But I do want to use some sort of metal filigree on her on Zombo. I really, really love these. Just kind of have to play around with them till they stay put. They look proper. These are awesome because these you can color them. The metal filigrees, you can go over them with gesso, with paint. Yeah, that's the way. Now my modeling paste is more or less dry. So here's where my glue comes in, and I'm going to add a nice amount of hot glue here. Very careful when working with hot glue. You don't want to burn your fingers. This is where I would definitely use E6000. But because it takes so long to dry, and I still want to add some color and stuff like that to this. Push it down, and I want to add a nice center to that. I'm going to get some of these yummy, 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 yummy crystals. Yeah. once I'm done, I'm gonna go back and add some E6000 onto these filigrees. Right now I'm just gonna leave them. I'm gonna use some of these clear ones. Those are too big. These are perfect. Yeah, these are perfect. I'm going to add some more of these on here. Just let me get done with. Okay. Can you guys see that? Oops. Do you guys have any questions? Okay. So here you can see some of the gesso, the modeling paste here that I added here. It's taking on some of the color that was at the bottom. You can see here. More here. Let me just rip off some of this tissue paper. Now, don't worry, guys, if you're lost or confused and you missed a step or two, don't worry. This is being recorded, so you guys can watch it again. I have a couple of tutorials on how I made my background on my YouTube channel, so you guys can always catch up and learn some techniques and new techniques and stuff like that on my YouTube channel. And throughout the year throughout this year, I'm going to be doing a lot more tutorials. I'm going to try to record my process videos while I'm creating a little bit more. So 2015 is going to bring a lot of fun new crafty projects, as well as techniques and how-tos and stuff like that. And I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything. I'm not going to just focus on one type of art. I'm going to work hard to build up my YouTube channel, so you're going to be seeing a lot more tutorials on my projects. So so far, I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. And all I need to focus on now is building up her headdress. And I want to give her like a sort of crown. Okay, and I want to add some of these rosettes on her head. I want to add some pearls also. I want these to kind of here's where this beautiful bling can be applied to. And my glue gun, guys, I got it also from Miriam's store. So she carries just really a lot of everything. Now I'm just cutting these petals, separating them by cutting where they're joined. I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm just cutting this portion right here. And you can see how easily it cuts with regular scissors. And I'm just cutting them so that I can shape it. I'm going to put a smaller one. These take very well to paint. Okay. Okay, so Don't worry about the cobwebs. Those will be removed with your heat tool. And I'm only putting glue in the center of them. I'm not putting glue around the whole thing because I want to be able to tuck things in and around the flowers. In the middle of those, I'm going to add some of these beautiful flat back pearls that I got from Miriam's store. I originally thought I was going to use things a little bit different, and then once I'm gluing things down, it just works out a totally different way. Like little happy surprises. See how that's coming along? Okay, now don't focus all on one side. Remember, she has still another side that needs to be embellished. I think I want to mirror this part there. As you can see, I am being very generous with my hot glue because I don't want any of this to come tumbling down. These canvases are actually a lot easier to build up and create than they seem. Up here still kind of needs more build up here at the top. I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek at a project I just finished where I use these rosettes for Gone Artsy. And this was inspired by my crafty sister Rhonda. She made a really beautiful mask a few days ago, and I just really love the color scheme that she used and the look of it. I didn't make a mask, but you'll see. I'll show you guys once I'm done here. Excuse me. I think she needs something here. I like tucking in these little crystals here and there, just as, you know, they fill up space. Need to move this one up a little bit. There we go. I want to add some of these onto. These are from Wild Orchid Crafts. Miriam can order you guys some. When she places her next order. You guys see how she's coming out? Yeah, I am going through a lot of hot glue because I really want everything to glue down nicely. Like I said, hot glue is not originally my glue of preference for this type of art. I do prefer using E6000, but because it takes so long to dry, and I literally have to glue it and then walk away from it because otherwise I'll keep moving it around and messing around and it'll never get done.